What's up, guys? Today we're gonna predict the Premier League 2026-2027 season, and we're gonna predict who's gonna be relegated. We're gonna predict who's gonna be mid-table, and we're gonna predict who's gonna be in the top four, who's gonna get the Champions League football, who's gonna get Europa League, who's gonna win the league, etc. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun. I'm a Chelsea fan. Me personally, I'm a Chelsea fan. I know you guys seen my past videos, all my subscribers. I haven't posted in a while, but yeah, I was just busy with personal stuff and stuff like that. But now I'm back, Premier League's about to start. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I know this is late. This is being recorded after game week 1. Not after game week 1, but it's Arsenal played Arsenal played on Friday, and today's games were Man United and Tottenham, which both lost. But hopefully that doesn't change my prediction too much. I'm not gonna let it sway me that much, even though it has to sway me a little bit. But hopefully it's not too much. But I'm not gonna do some crazy shit like whole city's gonna win the league or something like that, or even top four. But yeah, I mean, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Don't waste no time. Okay. So, okay, should we start from Arsenal? Okay. Nah, I'm gonna save that for last. Let me start with Tottenham from the bottom one, okay? Okay, Tottenham obviously have spent a lot of money over the summer, uh, getting in guys like Tonali, like Matthias Fernandez, and who else did I bring in? They had some. They bring in some great players. They're about to bring in Marmoush and Savinho, which they're Premier League proven, I guess. But I don't really think that they're needle movers that much. So, in my opinion, based on at least what I've seen in preseason from Roberto De Zerbi and today's game against Brentford, it's not really promising what I'm seeing right now. But I'm not gonna overreact and say they're gonna be in a relegation battle yet for like another season. So for me, Tottenham are like in this range right here. If I'm being generous in this range, maybe. So gonna I'm gonna go with upper mid table from 8 to 12. I think that's where they're gonna finish. I don't think they're gonna have as bad a season as the past two seasons where they finished 17 twice in a row. I don't think it's gonna be as bad. I think they're gonna improve, but I just don't think it's enough to bring them in Champions League and Europa League contention. Now Sunderland, last season obviously they had a great season. They had with Xhaka, Broby, and all those players. They have some good players. Um, I like the way they play. They're very fun to watch. It's not like your typical fancy like tiki taka football or anything like that, but it is really fun and chaotic to watch. Sunderland, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know much about them, like in details, because I'm not a Sunderland fan, and I don't watch that much Sunderland games. But based on last season and the preseason games, clips that I watched, I'm gonna have to go right here with Tottenham together. I think that they're gonna finish between 8 to 12th. Yeah, I'm gonna just say Sunderland are gonna finish above Spurs. Okay, next one is Nottingham Forest. Now this one is a little bit weird because Nottingham is like it's a polarizing team because I just don't know what they're gonna do. Now they have a new manager with Glasner, who was at Crystal Palace last season, but I just I don't see Glasner pushing this team to where they were with Nuno when they almost finished like in the Champions League spots. I don't think they're at that height yet. Now they got some good players, but they also lost their best player, Elliot Anderson. For a record fee. Granted, I mean I would have taken that money too, but I don't think they've improved. Well, they did improve. They tried to improve at least, but I don't think they've improved enough to go into that top four spot or even top five. So I'm gonna say for Nottingham, I'm gonna say somewhere right here. I'm gonna say right here. Three teams in the same tier, but I think I'm gonna figure that out later though. It's fine. Now Newcastle, this one, Newcastle lost a lot of their players, man. Like they lost basically everybody except for Lewis Hall. Now I do think losing some of those players they lost is not the end of the world. Like Sandro Tonali, I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's easily replaceable. They've also lost Isak, going back to last season. They've lost Bruno Guimaraes. They lost. I think that he was their best player last season. So I don't know how they also lost Eddie Howe, their manager. So this is gonna be a tough season for them. There's a lot of experienced players that they lost. They're also selling Walter Mata for some reason. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be a good season for Newcastle. Hopefully they don't get relegated, but I'm gonna say from 13th to 17th, this spot right here. I just don't see them having a good season. They also lost Anthony Gordon, not to mention. Man United. Now this team, I've seen before the game week started. I've seen a lot of people, predicted them to finish top four, top three, and me personally, I wasn't convinced based on what I saw in the preseason. And even though they brought in some good players, I mean, our Tielemans was one of the best midfielders in the league last season, in my opinion. I think Andre Santos, as limited as he is as a footballer, I think he can improve them by a lot. He's a good player, on the ball, especially spraying those passes through the middle, breaking lines. So I think they have good players, but that midfield, I don't think they can balance it. I don't know what the balance is gonna look like because you gotta fit in. I mean, Bruno is gonna start. They want to start him, but no matter what, he's gonna start. So how do you fit in Bruno Fernandez, Kobe Mainu, Tielemans, Andre Santos, and now they're gonna get in Baliba. So like, how is that gonna work? I'm not really too sure. I don't think the balance is right there. Their defense is pretty decent, not too much. They still need a left back. Their front three. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of Mbuemo, but he can get him some goals. I'm a big fan of Amad Diallo. I think they have a good team, but I just don't think with the Champions League added, with the pressure added for Carrick, I don't think it's enough to make them title challengers. And I think they're gonna barely make it into top four, in my opinion. That's what's gonna happen, in my opinion. That's my prediction. Yeah. Man City. Man City is a team which I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know what they're doing. Uh, they're selling their players left and right with no replacement so far. They're selling, Rodri, their best player. They lost Bernardo Silva, one of their most experienced players, one of the most basically a cheat code in build up play with its close control and decision making. Amazing player. They lost John Stones, another experienced player. Nathan Ake, another experienced player. They bought to lose Savinho, and they bought to lose Marmouche, which I don't think they're that great, but it's still depth that you need to replace in 1 week. So I think this is gonna be a hard one for me. I don't see them being great. I've seen people say they're gonna finish second. I've seen people say they're gonna finish third. I don't see it. So me personally, I'm gonna go with Man City between fifth and seventh. Um, mm, I'm a. You know what? No, I'm gonna go third. No, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go third. Let's go third. Let's go third. Okay. Just because I rate Enzo Maresca as a manager, as a Chelsea fan, I've seen how good Enzo Maresca is as a manager. Yeah, I mean, he's not world class or anything like that, but I've seen how intricate he is with his tactical, you know, his tactics. So I think that he can get the best out of that team as much as he can. I know he wants Enzo Fernandez and stuff like that, but let's see what happens in the next 1 week left. Okay, let's go to Liverpool now. Liverpool is an interesting one because they have a new manager, and they've also lost key pieces like Mo Salah. Obviously, they've lost a lot of players like Curtis Jones. They lost Robertson. Like these names might not be like the most like high level names, but they're really experienced and they bring experience to the team. A lot of, they meet the English quota or whatever. So I think, oh, they also lost Konate. Not to mention Konate, they lost Konate, and also Ekatike is gonna be out until like February, give or take. Uh, and me personally, Iraola as a manager, I'm just not convinced with the way I've seen his gun hole football at Bournemouth, just like constantly running, spending a hell of a lot of energy, pressing, just back and forth, chaotic football, no, like a little to no control of the football game. So that being added to them being in a Champions League football, doing that in the Champions League plus the Premier League, with players like Isak being injury prone. I mean, they do have a really good attack, and they spend like 130 million or whatever for Bradley Barcola. So it's not looking promising, especially in that midfield. It's not looking promising. Yeah, this is gonna be a Europa League or a Conference League season for Liverpool, in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie, it might be worse than this. I'm just being honest. I think it might be worse than this, but I believe in their defense. Jeremy Jake obviously dropped a sensational performance in his debut in the preseason game. They also still have Van Dyke. I mean, he might not be prime Van Dyke, but he's still Van Dyke, and they have Allison obviously. So they have some good players, but I just don't think it's gonna be enough. Now, Leeds United, this is everyone's favorite team before the season starts. I've seen top 10, top 5. I haven't seen top 5, but I've seen like top 8. People saying like they're gonna do really well. Obviously, they got DLC, Dominic Calvert Lewin. Holy. They have Harry Wilson, one of the most lethal left foots in the Premier League. They have a pretty good defense. So I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. Um, yeah, I'm not buying the top like top 8 hype. So I'm gonna say they're gonna finish around here between 8th to 12th. Uh, Ipswich Town, obviously they just got promoted after being relegated the season before. Uh, they bought some good players to Julio and Ciso. Yeah, uh, at this time of recording today, he had a really good performance against, I think it was Sunderland. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was. Yeah, they had a pretty decent summer. They've also bought someone else that I forgot. I'm pretty sure it was a midfielder or something. But yeah, they seem promising, but I still think they don't have enough. So I'm gonna go with relegation. I think they're gonna finish 18th. Uh, Hull City. This is gonna be biased based on what I've seen today against Man United. I mean, I have to be, but at the same time, I can't be reactionary. I mean, I have to have one like hot take. So I'm actually gonna move Newcastle to relegation, and I'm gonna put Hull City 17th. 13th to 17th. There you go. I was really impressed from what I've seen today. The defenders, the defense, just clearing everything out. I've seen they had this winger, the right winger for Hull City. I was watching that game. I was like, who's that? Like the whole time, I'm like, who's this just saucing everybody? Like he's a great player. I don't know who he is. Apparently, he's Algerian, but I'm gonna have to search him up and do my research about him. They also have McBurney just acting like he's like Benzema today, just taking on everybody, linking up play, doing everything. Yeah, they play three at the back system, which should give them some defensive solidity in the Premier League. So I have faith in Hull City more than Ipswich and Newcastle to stay in the league. Now Fulham, they have Arbeloa as a manager. This is a tough one. They have pretty good team. They've always just been like thereabouts. Nothing special really, but they have some good players that they bought in a player from Real Madrid academy, Palacios. He seems really good. They have Iwobi, one of the most underrated players in the Premier League, in my opinion. He's playing. He seems to fit seamlessly in that midfield. They also have Raul Jimenez. He's a good striker. He's an okay striker, and they have Kevin, who I rate. Yeah, they have Anthony Robinson, the American right left back. Shout out to America. Yeah, they have some good players. So I don't think they're gonna do terrible, but I don't think they're gonna do particularly amazing either. So I'm gonna go around here for House. I mean for Fulham, right above Hull City, between 13 and 17. Now Everton, this is gonna be my hottest take of the year, in my opinion. I think this team is gonna be a surprise package. I mean, look at that attack in Dai, Grealish, Tyreek George, um, and Barry. I think that's one of the best attacks in the league. I'm not gonna lie. I think that arguably that attack might be better than Arsenal's attack, in my opinion. I mean, let's really think about it. Like, I would take Ndai over Solis. I'm taking Barry over Gyökeres or whatever. But then they have Havertz too, so I guess I'm taking Havertz over both, and they have Saka, so it's a conversation definitely. But they have a really good attack. They also have a really good midfield with KDH Juice Hall, who scored a banger today, at the time of this recording. Yeah, they just look really really good. I can't help but put them in the Europa League Conference League tier. I think they're gonna have a really good season. Now Crystal Palace, Crystal Palace is just unpredictable every season, man. Like they also lost two of their best center backs, Lacroix. They've lost Mark Gay, obviously, both of them. So it's gonna be interesting. They just signed Disasi on loan, who was really good for West Ham actually last season. So I think they're gonna be okay. I don't think they're gonna be relegated. I think they just have too much quality and Adam Warren to be relegated. I think Adam Warren is one of the best midfielders in the world, in my opinion. I think he's if he stays and nothing major happens in the next week, I don't think I think they're gonna be fine in the league. I think it's interesting how the new manager is gonna do the replacement for Glasner. I think Glasner brought them stability in the past years, but also it was, you know, kind of overstayed his welcome because it was getting toxic at this point. They still have Mateta, which is some complications going on with his contract talks. I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting. Sar is also leaving to a Turkish club. Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna have a great season now that I'm rationalizing what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go with. I think they're gonna survive. I don't think they're gonna get relegated. Right. I'm obviously saving my last relegation spot for Coventry City right here. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to do it to you, Frank Lampard. I mean, he's a Chelsea legend. You know, all respect to him as a player. All respect to him, but you know, as a manager, I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. Like, I know he did a really good job getting them promoted to the Premier League, but there's just some managers are just not meant to coach at the highest level. They're just really good at a certain level, and that's their cap. I think Lampard is one of those managers. So Coventry is gonna have to be. You're gonna have to go back to the championship. Okay. Speaking of Frank Lampard, speaking of Chelsea, the next club is Chelsea. My team. Oh, wait, am I wearing the Chelsea jersey inside? Let me see. Oh, never mind. I'm not. I'm gonna wear it the next video. But Chelsea FC, Chelsea Football Club, keep the blue flag flying high. Let's go, man. Hey, the greatest team in the world. Amazing club, amazing team, amazing fans, amazing everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is gonna be an easy. Now I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna explain my answer. Nah, I'm not gonna. I'm not. I think they're gonna win the league. I think we're gonna win the league. I'm not gonna lie. I'm I'm sorry. I just rate this team so much. Like I look at around me. I look at what's around Chelsea. I mean, besides Arsenal, everybody else has like major problems. Like I'm not saying Chelsea doesn't have some problems, but everybody else has like major problems that are like unfixable in one window. And I think Chelsea, I mean, except for Arsenal, Arsenal are the most stable club, but which we're gonna get to. But Chelsea, I just see it. I one game a week, more time for Xabi Alonso to work his magic. Obviously, we don't have no Champions League football this season, sadly. So I'm gonna say Chelsea are gonna win the league. I mean, look at Chelsea's attack with Cole Palmer, Joao Pedro, Morgan Rogers. We have Esteval in the wings. We have Quenda in the wings. We have Neto for depth if he's not sold. Um, we also have Palestra. We have Caicedo. We have Reece James. These are some elite players that with a really good balance that I don't think other teams say they have. I think a lot of other teams might have talent like Chelsea, but I don't think they have the balance required to form a good team, a cohesive team. And the major problem with Chelsea the past few seasons was the defense, and they've addressed that with the signing of Lacroix, which I don't think Lacroix is a world beater or anything like that, but I definitely think he's gonna bring some stability at the back, at the very least. And I'm also very excited to watch Mike Penders and what he's gonna bring. Obviously, he's one of the most talked about teenager goalkeepers last season for Strasbourg. Just amazing. Labeled as the next Courtois. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. You know, these labels are usually wrong, like 90% of the time. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the season. We are yet to play, so this is being recorded before Monday. So our game is gonna be on Monday, which is gonna be interesting. It's interesting to see how they're gonna fare against Fulham. First Premier League game for Xabi Alonso, obviously. So we're gonna see. Oof, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that one. But Brighton and Hove Albion, um, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think they've improved that much. They lost Van Heck. I don't know who they replaced him with. I haven't been keeping up a lot. Um, but I just don't. I think they're gonna be okay. They're not gonna be bad. They're not gonna be terrible. Still have some good players like Rutter. They have Minte if he doesn't leave for Liverpool. I mean, which is most likely he's gonna leave for Liverpool. They also gonna sell Baleba to Man United. Now, granted that Baleba was not good for them last season. He was actually awful. He was getting benched by James Milner, like losing the ball possession, like he just couldn't get anything right. Maybe some people say it's because his head was turned to Man United already. Maybe, but yeah, I don't. I don't see Brighton having a better season than last season, but I also don't think they also lost Welbeck, which who scored 13 goals for them last season. So yeah, I'm gonna go right here. I think they're gonna be right here between Fulham and Hull City. I think they're gonna be a little bit worse than Fulham. Um, Brentford again. This is hard because I just can't help you be a little bit biased or like a little bit swayed based on what I watched today. But maybe I might be overreacting because it is Tottenham. I mean, these guys are like really bad. Tottenham, the way they played today, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like they were so bad. So maybe it's because it was Tottenham that they were playing that good. But I also think like they have a new signing, Sangare, that was bossing the midfield. They have some good players, Sade, Igor Thiago, just not my favorite players to watch. I'm not gonna lie, but he's decent. They have some decent players, man. Like they have some good players. They have some good defenders as well. There's a very experienced Kelleher, obviously, a good goalkeeper. So for Brentford, I'm gonna go fifth to seventh right here. I'm gonna say seventh. Yeah. Bournemouth, they lost to Iraola. Um, they still have Alex Scott. They haven't lost a lot of players, unless I'm missing someone. They obviously lost Semenyo last season. Um, I don't. Bournemouth is really hard to predict. I don't know what their style of play gonna be this season. Mm, so I'm just gonna go. Ooh, this is hard, man. This is hard. I'm just gonna go right here, 12th. I think they just gonna be a mid-table team. That's it, really. Nothing special. Aston Villa, again, another unpredictable team. They looked pretty okay against PSG when I watched them in the Super Cup. That striker they have, the young striker, the 17-year-old from their academy, looked great. He was bullying the PSG defenders. They lost Tielemans, obviously, and they lost Morgan Rogers, which is gonna be a huge blow. But I do expect Bondia to step up. I think he's a really good player. John McGinn, one of the most underrated players in the Premier League, in my opinion. So they do have some good players. They also lost Ezri Konsa to Arsenal. So they've lost a lot of players, but I don't think they can have that much of a fall off to the point where like they're falling out from you know top 10 or anything like that. I'm gonna say I'm actually gonna say fourth for now, but realistically, when you think about it, it doesn't make sense that they lost all those players. How can they make top four? But Emery is just a good coach, man. Like he's just a really good tactical coach. I think he's gonna bring the best out of whatever team he has. I believe in Emery to do that. So that's what I believe, right? Um, yeah, it's really hard though. Wait, am I tripping? I'm gonna rearrange it later. Let's see what I'm gonna think later on because I'm not sure about this Aston Villa one. They also got in Garnacho, which is I don't know about Garnacho being your Morgan Rogers replacement. I just don't see what the plan is there. So that's gonna be a hard one for Arsenal. I'm gonna say second. I think they're the second best team. Right beside Chelsea, obviously, the Premier League winners. Yeah, Arsenal is just a great team, the most experienced team. They have the longest serving manager in the league. Mikel Arteta. They have a pretty good midfield. They have a really good defense, amazing defense actually. Almost best in the world defense. Definitely the best in the world defense. But they also lost Saliba due to injury, and I'm gonna have to see how they fare without Saliba. I mean, I know they beat Coventry 3-0, but it's also Coventry. So you can't take too much away from that. They have Chelsea in game week 3, which is gonna be which is gonna be interesting, with the narratives and the talks regarding those two clubs. I think it's gonna be interesting. And we're gonna see how good they're gonna hold up without Saliba. Also that attack is just I'm not convinced yet. They're gonna have to work a little bit. I'm gonna have to see them for 5-10 games to see how good that attack is. So we're gonna have to see about that one. But looking at my list, man, I'm happy about my list. Not too shabby, not too bad. Uh, but for a rearrangement, I think I'm gonna put Aston Villa. Mm, yeah, I think I'm gonna put Aston Villa right here. I think they're gonna be better than Spurs. I don't think they're gonna be better than Sunderland. So I'm gonna put them right here with Nottingham Forest, Leeds. Okay, I'm gonna put Leeds above Forest, and I'm gonna put Bournemouth right here. How about that? I think this is gonna be the Premier League. I think this is my final prediction. It looks really good. I think I'm pretty confident in this. Um, maybe if I'm not confident by is Liverpool finishing below Man United. I think that's a little bit iffy. I also think that they might be. This is the season where they might be a surprise package from the mid-table teams like Everton, Brentford, or Sunderland, someone like that that might sneak in the top four, which that wouldn't be surprising to me, in my opinion, because a lot of teams have a lot of issues, man. Um, so it's gonna be interesting, definitely interesting. Um, yeah. So tell me if you guys like my video. Subscribe and let me down in the comments below what video I should do next. Maybe a reaction video, or maybe something like this, a tier list, or a breakdown video, or a live stream of a certain game that you want me to watch. And yeah, until next time, peace.